Black people, Jewish people. Why can't we come together? We obviously can come together. We just have to find a way to do it.
The desire is good, but the reality is the total opposite of your desire. And unfortunately, as a young lady, you are not in the position of power to make the decisions to make America work. May I, as an audience of intelligent people, I would like to just take a moment to say to you that I really don't think you fully understand what has happened to these people that you look at as second class or inferior citizens in this nation. Black people who were brought to this country were stripped of their names, language, culture, religion, God, and taken totally away from the history of themselves. Here are 30 million people who don't wear their own names, they wear your names. Who don't speak their own language, they speak English, which is not their language. They never were allowed their own cultural expression of Africa. Don't you realize that when you turn a people upside down and inside out, then sell them not for a day, not for a year, but for 300 years and deny us the human right to know, to read a book, to learn, to understand. And then after 300 years of that, you allow us into the church. But by that time, you've painted Jesus white, God white, the angels white. And then all these black people have been subjected to a form of white supremacy, which produces in the reverse a black inferiority. And this is fulfilling what Jesus said, as a man thinketh, so is he. And as long as our people think the way they think, we will never be able to do what we as a people should do to correct our condition.
Over here, please.
And listen, guys, we are back. We're up live on Facebook. Be sure to like the WVON page. Interact with me. I'll be sure to talk back with you. If you would like to keep up with me exclusively, be sure to follow me across all social media platforms at Follow Cleopatra. Be sure to like and subscribe to my new YouTube channel. Check me out, support me. And listen, guys, he the birthday. That's what the young folks say. He the birthday. 93 years young and so many trips around the sun. It is my privilege and honor to dedicate today's show to the celebration of life of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Now, throughout the on-setting of my show, I've always paid homage to him, but today is very special, and I enjoy lifting up his voice. As I've shared with folks, half of my family dynamics is split anyway. Half is Muslim, half is Christian. So listen, I have been born under the tutelage of the Honorable Minister for quite some while throughout my entire life. And I look forward to celebrating today because, of course, it's Delta time. It's 9:13. I want to hear from you. Are you excited as I am? Listen, he was cancel culture before white folks declared cancel culture. Some of you all have strayed away from his dynamic message and voice, and he still forgives because, it is expected for a group of people. You heard the man. And sometimes our figures are off. It's more than 400 plus years. But yet and still, is he off with the whitewashing of what his history has proven, what the good book says in terms of how colored Jesus truly is and was to how white he is today? And I'm going to speak to this tomorrow because your president played too much. So there's a depiction that supports what the Honorable Ministers is saying, even in current day, is still being done. But how many of you all are falling fool? 773-591-1690. Today, I am uplifting the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. Today is his 93rd birthday. In addition to that, I would like to ask you, here's the question. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan gave us many messages. Identify one that reigns supreme for you to teach others. Now, you heard him on the Phil Donahue show, and I got clips for days. We're going to go through clip after clip. But yet and still, there is a message that is just has measured through the test of time, and I know he has a many. But when you call me, just tell me one. Because if cancel culture was a thing, they've been doing that. Even when they scrubbed them off of Facebook, they tried it, and what was the fight? At the end of the day, he is here. He is to be celebrated, and I look forward to doing that with you. I'm going straight to the phone lines. I see Anthony on the live line. Anthony, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Queen Cleopatra. Can you hear me?
Yes.
First of all, I would like to say happy one day to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. May Allah be pleased with him. Do you mind if I share my story of the Nation of Islam and Minister Farrakhan and how he affected my life?
Sure. Be quick.
Okay. I'm gonna try to sum it up real quick. This was in 1991. I had just started dating my wife, who grew up in the Nation of Islam. I remember one day, Cleopatra, I was coming from a gang meeting. I was walking down 79th Street. I got off the bus right there at 79th House, and I was walking down 79th Street going east. I walked past the Final Call building, and this brother invited me in. Now, mind you, I grew up in the church, and I never really had an understanding of the Bible or how it related to me or us as a people. He invited me into the Final Call building, and there was a sister speaking. Her name was Ava Muhammad. First time I ever saw a woman in the pulpit speaking spiritually and speaking to Black people about our condition. I left that place, and I went to me and my wife had just started dating. This is why I called my wife my Jesus, my savior, is because she introduced me to Islam at a place and time in my life where I was headed down hell. I was in hell mentally, and my wife introduced me to the Nation of Islam, and I went to the mosque, and in 1992 I wrote my letter. I recited my actual facts, and I wrote my letter, and I became a Muslim. And from that day, when I heard that man speak, and he explained to me my significance in this world and what I meant to my people. I have never heard a man speak so highly of Black people and lift Black people up like I heard that man do. And from that day, I took that mentality that I get from the Nation of Islam. I took it back to my community. I took it back to them brothers that I was gangbanging with. And it wasn't hard for me to grasp Islam because of the organization I was involved in had an inkling of Islam in their teachings also. So it was natural for me to grasp this so-called religion. I call it a way of life because that's the way it's taught in the Nation of Islam. It's not taught as a religion. It's taught as a way of life. And I could never, ever, 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 ever thank this man enough. It's three things I always said in life that I will kill for: my family, my intimate family, and Minister Louis Farrakhan. I will kill concrete.
Okay, well, thank you, Anthony.
My Savior, my Jesus, because she saved my life by introducing me to the Nation of Islam.
No, and I think that that's beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing your tribute. Listen, guys, when we come back, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, he the birthday. You don't want to miss this.
Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Attention shoppers, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is hanging up their hats, and you're invited to the retirement sale of a lifetime. Now through May 30th, everything in the store is on massive discount. That's every hat, every cap, and every accessory. It's our biggest sale ever, with prices you have to see to believe. Visit Sid's today at 609 West Roosevelt Road. While hats last and stock is moving fast, you'll find styles you love at prices you'll adore. Hurry in, retirement sale ends May 30th. Sid's Clothing and Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
This is Rufus Williams. And I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore the charm, the beauty, and the history of Charleston, South Carolina. This isn't your typical getaway. We're walking through history and standing where our stories began. From the roots of Gullah Geechee culture to the International African American Museum. From cobblestone streets to waterfront views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural vibe. To find out more, visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. And keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into understanding, one destination at a time. We are WVON.
It's Matt McGill.
Matt, we did want to give you a little how do you do today. I'm from McGuire. How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do? How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do? You may think you're upper class, but you're just a horse. How do you do, Matt McGill? How do you do?
Thank you, guys.
McGuire, you're welcome.
Matt McGill on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Sharpton.
Catch Reverend Al Sharpton online at WVON.com or on the WVON app. Just click the Al Sharpton banner. Tune in every day at 12 noon for your daily dose. And if you miss it, catch the overnight replay from midnight to 3 a.m. We're keeping it real with Al Sharpton on WVON 1690.
Reverend Al told you personally, keep it real. Keep it real. Keep it real.
You've got dreams, so don't let an old cannabis record stand in the way. New Leaf, Illinois offers free legal help to help you clear old cannabis records and other eligible records. Whether it's a job application, a lease, or just peace of mind, a clean record opens doors. Call 872-NEW-LEAF or visit newleafillinois.org today. New Leaf, Illinois, because your past doesn't define your future.
Hey fam, what does a healed Chicago look like? For a lot of us, healing has to include reparations for those in power to make amends for the centuries of harm committed against Black people in this country. We deserve a city that invests in us, and we have the power to build it. Join us Saturday, May 30th at the Big Payback People's Assembly with equity and transformation and the movement for Black lives, where we'll be digging into the real questions. What do reparations look like in our communities? And how do we organize to win what we are owed? Come be a part of it on Saturday, May 30th, 11 a.m. at Alt Space, located at 5645 West Corcoran Place. We'll have food, childcare, and real community connection. We built this country. It's time for a full accounting. Let's take back what's ours. Register today at peoplespower.info. That's peoplespower.info. We'll see you there.
You gotta get ready for the big payback. The big payback.
WVON traffic and weather now.
We saw some extremely high travel times this morning, but they're finally coming down to a 20-minute trip along the inbound Ryan from 95th Street into downtown. Outbound, things are pretty quiet. If you're on the Bishop Ford and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, you're now moving along at the posted speed as well. Much better along DuSable Lakeshore Drive. That trip from 67th Street to Jackson down to 17 minutes, Hollywood to Monroe, and a 15-minute trip. If you're on the Stevenson, 31 minutes from I-355 to DuSable Drive, outbound, things are quiet. If you're on the Eisenhower, you are still looking at about 50 minutes from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, outbound just fine. And the Kennedy down to a 30-minute trip in from O'Hare to downtown, 30 getting to the airport as well. Taking a look at our weather, grab your sunglasses. The National Weather Service says you're going to need them today. Sunny but cooler, temperatures topping out at around 55. Tonight, 41. We're up to 50 at Midway. Is 50 in Richton Park and 50 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
If we're going to change the world, the change will never come through men. The change will only come through women. Why is that? When you teach a man, you teach an individual. But when you teach a woman, you teach a nation. Because as long as women are enlightened, you will have children from the womb born with enlightenment.
And we are back. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. The time is 9:24, and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is 93 years young today, and he the birthday. Today's show is in tribute to his life, his legacy, his messages. And I'm asking you, which one is resounding? Which one reigns supreme? And my family, like I said, half Christian, half Muslim. I've grown up under the tutelage throughout my entire life. And I thank God for the journey of my aunts and uncles. And yet and still, there has to be a particular one. So I'm going to keep raising up who he was before council culture, because some of you all didn't protect when they tried to counsel, but you can't counsel a man, not a man like us. I'm going to the phone line, 773-591-1690, to Anthony's message to his wife that not only saved his life, but raised his life. Did you hear the minister? He said, you could teach a man, but if you teach a woman, it's transformative. And anything under her tutelage from her womb is enlightened. That was powerful. And that coincides with Anthony's life experience and his love for not only the minister, but for the nation of Islam. Let's talk to Cliff. Cliff, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Hey, Grand Rising, Sister Cleopatra, and thank you so much. It's such an honor and so much of an inspiration to hear WVON recognize the Jesus, our Savior, the Pope, to most Black people, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And let me say this, that there's one thing in particular. I myself am a Christian. And when I first started out, I was under the impression, that Jesus is what? Black people worshiping a blonde hair, blue eye, white boy? This can't be right. And the things that we were going through in terms of being enslaved as a people, how can we be Christians and worship this white boy? So it was through his teaching and searching for truth, that the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan came into my life. And I would certainly say that one of the things that's most profound, not only the COVID, when he said, do not take the vaccine, and I was fighting against a whole bunch of Black preachers in the Black church, and I got to be honest, Democratic governors persuading the Black preachers for the congregation to take the virus. I was confused. So I listened to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who has a history of caring for Black people. So why would he tell us to take it in order what? To kill us? It was obviously for our best interest. But my last point, when he said, I have an army that you see and an army that you don't see. And they've been talking about people, our brothers and sisters from another planet. He's been saying that for years. And now look what we're dealing with now. We got an alien in the office right now talking about UFOs and APUs and aliens. And that is true. What we're dealing with are hybrid clone white people trying to destroy the original man, the Black man. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. There's a message that resounded for Cliff. Let's talk to Django. Django, welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Cleopatra. How you doing?
I'm in good spirits. It's a manic Monday, but we're giving praises to an amazing man.
Oh, yes, most definitely. I definitely want to wish the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan a happy birth anniversary. And I want to definitely say that he has greatly impacted my life, starting, of course, with the historic Million Man March, October of 1995. And I always remember something the minister taught that I have held close to me. He said, you want to look towards the God within and follow that leader to win. And so too many times we're looking for God outside of ourselves instead of first looking towards the God force within us, because all of us have been divinely called, divinely created with a vision, mission, and purpose. And so the minister, with the unification of our people in 1995, gave us an example of the power of our unity And so since 1995, I have been working to help establish and perpetuate Black unity, not just as an idea, but as a system and an intergenerational system at that. And also, I, like Minister Farrakhan, am born on the number 11, July 11th for me. And he always spoke to that. If you look at the Final Call newspaper, the trumpet at the top left-hand corner, you'll see 11 rays coming out of the trumpet. And so those who are under the sign or the number 11, some of us have been called to be a trumpet or to be a voice for the people. And so I'm striving to continue to push that Black unity, Black power, Black control, and ultimately Black victory.
Well, thank you so much. I'm up against a heartbreak, but that was a message again, the number 11. Hey, I have the most astute listening audience in the world. When we come back, I want to hear your calls as we are giving praises to an amazing man. That's right. It's the 93rd birthday of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. When we return, I got so much more.
We're inching closer to a daytime high of 55. Good morning. I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. This morning, we hear from a heartbroken mother of a Chicago high school student with a full-ride basketball scholarship offer, but was shot and killed in an Uber last week. Perry Williams has more.
The double homicide happened last Thursday night in the 200 block of North Homan. The mother of the 18-year-old victim, Damarion Johnson, says her son was getting college basketball offers.
Since he was a baby, he just knew hip hop was it. He used to be like, Mom, you ain't gonna be like this forever. You ain't gonna have to struggle with us like this forever, Mom.
Meanwhile, the driver killed has been identified as 38-year-old Jocelyn Cho, who was a financial analyst, and DePaul grad who drove Uber as a side job. I'm Perry Williams.
A $10,000 reward is being offered in the case. Well, Chicago leaders want the Democratic National Convention back. Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.G. Pritzker laid out a pitch to DNC leadership to bring the convention back to the United Center in a video they launched this morning. The city is coming off the success of the 2024 DNC, which is likely a key part of their 2028 bid. This week, DNC leadership is expected to be in Chicago to go on a special visit to the Obama Presidential Center. According to reports, the 2024 DNC generated as much as $371 million to the local economy. Well, good news for young tech students. IBM is bringing an innovative and delivery hub to Chicago. Earlier this morning, WVON's Rufus Williams spoke with City College's Chancellor, Juan Salgado. He says the apprenticeship program is specially tailored for young, qualified graduates of the city colleges.
And if you have those things, then you should look us up because there's a chance that this opportunity can be for you. Let me just be clear too. We're not just building for IBM. We're building a pipeline that we believe will lead to 500 annual apprentices within 5 years. We're hoping to grow it to 1,000 annual apprentices every year.
Work has begun on the new Southside facility, going up on the site of the former U.S. Steel Southworks. And industry leaders continue assessing this year's Met Gala, which apparently had a major impact on fashion history, and fundraising. WVON's Logan Page has more.
Hermine Hartman of Indigo Magazine and Dion Williams of Emerge discuss the Met Gala and the evolution of fashion.
This gala was Black women. And it's very interesting that you've had two galas in a row on Blackness, men and women. And it was Andre Talley, who was a columnist for Vogue, who was always, he's deceased now, but he was pushing for inclusion of Black folk in the gala at all times. And I guess she got it, but he's not here to see it, unfortunately. So let me tell you what the gala is really about. Mm-hmm. The gala is about getting on the cover of Vogue magazine, of which there are only 12 issues a year.
They also debated whether events like the Met Gala should still be celebrated amid current global issues. The conversation focused on fashion culture and public reaction to high-profile events. Logan Page, R News Now, WVON 1690 AM.
This year was the first year in a decade that Beyonce participated. Gala officials say they raised a record-breaking $42 million, which will go to support the Costume Institute. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 9:34.
it's D.L. Hughley.
Nick Cannon's logic is as weak as his. Everybody fucking knew that Republicans freed the slaves. Everybody knew it. The last time they did something for black people was 163 years ago. You got to update your resume. Have a 5-year gap. When Republicans did that, Hawaii wasn't a state. If you're going to talk about the greatest of a policy that helped black people out, it should at least be sometime after the fucking moon landing.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON. Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter.
We're up to way over 400 million here. Yeah, giving money back. How about that? People in Bellwood got 10 million, Broadview 6 million, Burnham 3 million, South Holland 17 million. The city of Chicago's up to $190 million that we have given back to African Americans. Who does that? Nobody does that but WVON.
Cook County Treasurer Maria Pappas with Black Houses Matter, Monday mornings at 11:30 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by AutoZone. AutoZone, get in the zone. Starting Stronger starts at AutoZone, where they've got battery solutions in the form of free battery testing, free battery charging, and replacement batteries that fit your needs. That's what makes them America's #1 battery destination. Get in the zone. AutoZone.
WVON traffic and weather now.
The Ryan, much quieter. You're down to a 17-minute trip from 95th Street into downtown. Outbound just fine. As you make your way along the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive, you'll be moving along pretty close to the posted speed. That inbound trip along the Stevenson in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, 31 minutes, outbound 30. The Eisenhower down to 40 from Thorndale to the Burns Circle. That outbound trip, no problems, no delays. And along the Kennedy, you're looking at almost 30 minutes in from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, just about 30 as well. Taking a look at your weather. Turning sunny today, but on the cooler side of things, the National Weather Service says we're going to top out only in the mid-50s. 55 is our official high. Our low tonight, 41. We're up to 50 at O'Hare, is 50 in Washington Heights, and 50 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The white man today is the clearest example that God lives, moves, and acts through human beings. You sit around, you see it rain. Oh, it's raining. You say, God did that. You hear thunder. God is talking to his children. White folks say, it's raining. How does that happen? He said, I can do that. Now he seeds the clouds and makes rain. Talk to me. You see the sun, isn't it marvelous? Ooh, look at that sun. White folks say, I can do that. He experiments with the atom of the hydrogen. Now he says, I can create a sun. God said he's going to make life. You sit around and say, look at it, isn't it wonderful what God had done? White folks say, sure he is. He gets in a laboratory and say, now look what I have done. God put a planet in space spinning. White folks say, that's marvelous. I'm going to put me something up and let it spin too. You sitting around talking about, it's a shame the way people is these days. I don't know what done got into the people. They're so crazy. White folks say, I know what got in them all right. He's now studying the DNA, going into the very genetic coding of the thing to cut out the infirmity or to add in something. He's He's not a fool. He's showing you that God was, God is, God shall always be a human being working through human beings for the benefit of human beings. And you that are looking for God in space, you will always be the slave of a man who knows the reality of God. And that is why you are under white people and they are over you, because you are worshiping a mystery God. And the white man says, I am God, and I will make you bow down and worship me.
Message. The time is 9:40. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. Today's show is in tribute and homage to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, who is celebrating 93 years around the sun and the wisdom. Now, I've asked, can you pinpoint a message that reigns supreme? I can. And I will continue throughout the breaks to uplift messages, because some say he's the Messiah. And I would like him to understand in depth. So we have a very special guest that is coming to us with a message strictly from the messenger. Now, I thought this clip was most befitting because this segment, I have Lee Eric Smith joining us via StreamYard. He's with the Tri-State Defender. The Tri-State Defender was founded in 1951 by John H. Sinstake. And we know that name here in the city of Chicago, who he was also the owner and the founder of the Chicago Defender. Now, if it is true to the message of what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has said, how did we get here? And where are we? I've pulled up to Tennessee. And the Tennessee legislature, they've passed a new United States congressional map that will favor Republicans in all 9 states districts ahead of this year's midterm election. The new map splits the last majority-minority United States House district in Memphis. And if you know anything about Memphis, it's bliggity black. Here it is, a power grab under white leadership, predominant white leadership, in a predominant white state, and the only predominant black city bound to lose its representation. So again, what did the messenger say? Under white rule, a white God that is leading you astray. Think about the minister's message as I bring up Lee Eric Smith. Welcome back to the Cleopatra Show.
Thank you for having me on, Cleopatra. And happy
you're
birthday
muted,
to
brother.
the minister.
Unmute. Can you talk now?
Yes, hold on.
There
Yes,
you
I'm
go.
here.
Welcome back.
Yes, glad to be here, and happy birthday to the Honorable Minister Farrakhan.
What you think about his message?
You know, you can sometimes forget that the minister has considerable stand-up comedy chops, and he can make you laugh all at the same time while dropping incredible wisdom on you. And so I hadn't heard that clip before. I was wondering exactly where it was going, but as he always does, he brought it back around to an incredible truth, and that is that even as the Christian faith teaches, the Christ is within you. So regardless of whether you're Muslim or follow the teachings of Christ, God is within. It's within our power to change our world.
And I thought it was most befitting to the shenanigans out of Tennessee as of late, particularly when I began to question which Bible you reading, as though it was so many iterations, because you're right. If you read the doctrine of the Bible, it teaches you God is within you. But it depends. Now I have the question, well, are you evangelical? Well, what seminary school you went? Did you go to seminary? You know, now I got to begin to question the caliber. Did you read that Trump Bible? Which version of the truth are you reading? And then how are you governing? So I thought that was most befitting as I'm lining up my messages for today's show, because it is a nightmare on Elm Street when I pull up to Tennessee. So tell us what's really going on.
So for those who have, well, been under a rock, or it's not even that. It's just so much is happening so fast in our country that anybody can lose track. There's going to be some headlines breaking while we're talking today. But in the wake of the Supreme Court ruling in Louisiana that broke up a majority-minority district in Louisiana, Governor Bill Lee called a special legislative session of the Tennessee legislature to take advantage of an opportunity to redraw the state's districting maps because they say Tennessee is a conservative state and we want to make sure that it's conservative, that it stays that way. Prior to that, Senator Marsha Blackburn of Tennessee had posted on Twitter a sample map that divides District 9 here, which was here in Memphis, into 3 different districts. And so to give you an idea how strange this is, there is a part of Memphis now, I haven't been over there, where if you drove in a circle for about 5 minutes or so, you could hit all 3 of the districts and be back in the first one at the same time.
So in other words, participles. They took just enough to not make it enough to be overwhelming to strike down whomever they want to position to be the leader of that district. And when I say they, I'm talking about the Black vote.
Exactly. So there are people now on the banks of the Mississippi that will be represented by the same representative as somebody who's about an hour away from Nashville.
And to further expound upon those worlds, tell us about the caliber of living, because from the banks of Mississippi, I imagine is kind of rural. And
well, certainly. So the way they drew this district, and there's no way to really describe it. You have to see it. It's obviously gerrymandered, but this new district, it includes, all the way to the Mississippi state line, but it snakes its way up the west side of the river. So it covers the whole Mississippi River. And then it goes west and kind of winds its way all the way through. But the mentality of it is to wait, to have to give an unfair kind of advantage to these rural areas that tend to skew more Republican, and they just kind of ram the thing through without much conversation, without much. And despite all the obvious pushback that legislators and Memphians have been crying out for, it's strange. It's not surprising. And
why strange? Why not just say it's racist?
Well, it is racist.
Declare it to be racist.
Yeah, absolutely, it's racist.
Because for me, it's calculated. When I think of, I'm gonna put on my operative hat, right? When I think of the calculus from a statistician standpoint, it's not strange. This is extremely calculated in terms of the vote. As you're telling me, the snaking aspect is deliberately and with willful intent to filibuster an opportunity of those that are juxtaposed to the conservative values to rise up and be in leadership in the state of Tennessee.
Correct.
That's what I'm hearing you say. So what about that is strange?
It's what I was saying is it's strange in the sense that so many, it's strange that they did it in such a, that it happened in such a fast way.
Well, I think to your point, the fast track is desperation. See, I call a thing a thing. I'm used to it. Maybe that's why I command this ship. So on my show, I just say what it is. Desperation, a power grab of white men holding on to what used to be. And used to be don't make no honey. So I'm interested when we come back, what is the response of the Tennesseans, particularly the Black ones that are willing to fight, because this legislation approved by Governor Bill Lee has not seen your Supreme Court like the fate of Virginia. The people of Virginia spoke and were struck down, but the people of Tennessee didn't even have the opportunity to speak up. And now this ship is sailing. So when we come back, I'm curious because this desperation is very calculated too. The midterm will save a lot of white folk in leadership from going to jail. Let's just be clear. The grift keeps on grifting if we don't set the record straight by the midterms. And the way it's looking, a lot of Americans, particularly those that are a part of the districts you're saying, will suffer. Rural areas are hit the hardest because the collapse of the hospital industry, medical, SNAP benefits. White folk didn't realize they were on government substance because they changed the name. Many of them didn't even realize they were on Obamacare because states like yours changed the name, but they didn't change the game. Ergo, they will suffer too. When we come back, I need to hear whether or not there's a plan of action, because I saw the brother with Afro that I love so much. Him was going to jail just like Martin Luther King. So how many more sacrifices are willing to get behind that brother? Because he can't be the only one. When we come back, we're talking to Lee Eric Smith. He is with the Tri-State Defender. We're talking about the Tennessee legislation and the power grab of white men desperate to not go to jail. We'll be back after this break.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Primary care that's completely you. OSF Complete Care 55 Plus is personalized primary care for adults 55 and older living with ongoing health conditions. Now accepting patients in Evergreen Park. OSFhealthcare.org/CC55.
Hey, Chicago, it's Matt McGill. We had so much fun last year. We're heading back to the Chicago Blues Festival as their official radio partner June 5th through the 7th in Millennium Park. But guess what? On Thursday, June 4th, we're going to kick things off. That's me and my buddy Sir Henry Cheatham. We're going to the iconic Ramova Theater, 3618 South Halsted, and we're bringing on stage one of Chicago's favorites, the one, the only, Willie Clayton.
3 people sleeping in my bed one time.
And Chicago's own, the legendary John Primer.
Well, I'm rolling and tumbling, talking all out of my head.
You want to join us? Then reserve your free seats now at RamovaChicago.com. That's RamovaChicago.com. Then keep it right here to WVON for your chance to win VIP tickets to the Ramova and to hear more about this year's lineup. I'll see you there Thursday, June 4th at the Ramova Theater to kick off the 2026 Chicago Blues Festival, brought to you by Mayor Brandon Johnson and DCASE, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events.
Chicago officially has the worst traffic in the country. Get out of gridlock with Metra. With our 95% on-time rate, we eliminate the stress of driving and get you where you're going quickly, comfortably, and safely. Metra. Drive less, do more.
Vine TV brings stories in full bloom. See Martha's Vineyard versus DeSantis, a powerful documentary on politics, power, and human lives colliding, following migrant families fighting for justice beyond the headlines. And discover even more featured content on Vine TV, films, series, and stories that keep the culture connected. Stream Vine TV anytime on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, the WVON app, or at VON.TV. Vine TV, for the culture, by the culture.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Light traffic. Things are looking good on the roadways as you make your way along the Ryan in from 95th Street to downtown. You'll move along at the posted speed. Outbound, we are seeing just a small cluster between 55th and the Skyway. Otherwise, things look pretty good. Light traffic along the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive as well. As you make your way along the Stevenson end from I-355 to DuSable Drive, still that 31-minute trip. Outbound light. No problems, no delays to report in either direction along the Eisenhower from Thorndale to the Burns Circle and back again. And the Kennedy looks good, about a 30-minute trip in from O'Hare to downtown. Getting to the airport, you'll move along at the posted speed. Taking a look at our weather, bright skies, sunny but cooler today. Temperatures topping out in the mid-50s. 55 is our official high. We're up to 51 at O'Hare, 51 in West Inglewood, and 51 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
When you see men fall, don't laugh. Learn, because you're on your way up. And the things that tempt people to fall, you and I are not free from that temptation, nor from the weakness that will cause us to stumble and fall. When you laugh at somebody else's fall, white or black, rich or poor, your enemy or your friend, you are laughing and opening a way for your own demise when you do that. Because to laugh and not learn, to make mockery and not to understand, is to make the same mistake yourself.
We are back on the Cleopatra Show. The time is 9:56, and I'm continuing to pay homage and uplift the celebration because he's the birthday. That's right. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan turns 93 years young today. And I am going to continue to lift up some pointed messages because although we're talking about the stumble and bumble right there in the Tennessee legislation, I don't want us to laugh. I want us to learn. And right now on the live line via StreamYard is Lee Eric Smith. He writes for the Tri-State Defender, and he has been on this beat for quite some while. And this power graph of the white leaders of the legislation to redraw this congressional map disenfranchises the only majority-minority district that was known to be in Memphis and split now 3 ways. Lee Eric, I was asking at the end of the day, I've seen, I can't remember his name. What's the state rep, the brother with the
state rep, Justin J. Pearson.
There you go, Justin J. Pearson. I just watched over the weekend and throughout the week him be hauled off, very eerily similar to Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his fight for liberation of the people in Tennessee. But he can't be alone. So what's the plan of action, if any, to fight back? Because the people did not, this is not the people's will. The people had no say so, and your Governor Bill Lee pressed this through. What is the call of action and the response to clap back?
So the speed at which this whole thing was moving, obviously, it's begging for court cases. And the strategy that I was able to pick up from, and in my conversations with Democratic leaders, is they knew that because Democrats in Tennessee just haven't had the votes ever on anything for probably at least 10 or more years. And so they knew that if this thing got to the floor, that it simply would not, they would not be able to stop it. So even as through their protests, through their questioning in committees, through debate on the floor, they have been planting seeds for a court battle. And indeed, both the Tennessee Democratic Party has sued the state of Tennessee, as well as the candidates, a handful of the candidates for the District 9 seat, which include the incumbent Steve Cohen, State Rep Justin J. Pearson, and another candidate as well. So these things are getting ready to go through the court system. Those lawsuits were filed in Chancery Court there in Nashville. What remains to be seen, and if there is a case that screams this needs to get to the Supreme Court as quickly as possible, it would seem this one. I don't know how quickly that's going to be able to move. And quite frankly, given the way the Supreme Court's been voting a lot lately, it may or may not make a difference. Now, here's the other side, and this may be the law of unintended consequences, is that as this whole thing was beginning to move through, I began to pay attention to the Facebook feed of Senator Marsha Blackburn. She's the one that proposed this new map that has been essentially adopted. And what I began to see on her feed was a lot of her voters, or a lot of, well, I don't know if they're voters or not, but just people on her feed, a lot of the commentary was, what, no referendum? You're not going to ask us? Like, this is the type of thing that you should put before the voters. They were upset about it, not for the racial aspects of it, but for the fact that they didn't bother to ask. And so, you know, we'll see, but I would expect, you know, obviously in this era of Trump, you know, the House is expected to flip. But I would be surprised if Tennessee voters, even ones that Republicans are counting on, don't push back in a rough way. They don't like what's going on either. I'm talking about white voters in Tennessee.
No, I get it. I appreciate the report. I want to keep up with you as this percolates. We want to have you back soon because I'm worried about State Rep Wilson. That brother cannot be alone. So hopefully the Black Tennesseans, if you all can hear us, stand in solidarity with him because he seems like a lone wolf. I appreciate you stopping by the show.
Thank you for having me on, Cleopatra.
Absolutely. So listen, guys, when we come back, we'll continue to uplift the Honorable Louis Farrakhan. Not only because he the birthday, but he the man. He the man with a message. And I want to hear your pointed message. What has reigned supreme? We'll be back after this break.
Sunny with temps expected to remain in the 50s on this Monday, May 11th, 2026. I'm in Flournoy, and in the headlines today, Nation of Islam leader, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan, celebrates his 93rd birthday. A local federal judge is expected to rule today on whether a special prosecutor is needed to investigate accused crime connected to Operation Midway Blitz. And this morning, we hear from a heartbroken mother of a Chicago high school student with a full-ride basketball scholarship offer, but was killed in an Uber last week. The Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 10:01.
Here's BIN News Now. President Trump is downplaying concerns over hantavirus, saying experts are closely monitoring the situation.
We seem to have things under very good control. They know that virus very well. It's been around a long time.
Meanwhile, the CDC is escorting American passengers off a cruise ship in the Canary Islands and flying them home, where they're expected to be quarantined as a precaution. Little Rock, Arkansas Mayor Frank Scott Jr. is running for re-election. Scott announced his bid online, highlighting drops in crime, job growth, and stronger neighborhoods. The Democrat became the city's first popularly elected Black mayor in 2019 and won a second term in 2022. And Rolling Loud lit up Orlando over the weekend with major performances and a surprise cameo. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's 12-year-old daughter, Northwest, made an unexpected appearance, joining artist Molly Santana on stage Saturday night. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
Alabama is one of a handful of GOP-controlled states attempting to redraw maps after the Supreme Court struck down Louisiana's map, calling it an unconstitutional gerrymander that relied too much on race. Louisiana State Senator Gary Carter.
Now we want to reduce that. My public comment is anger. This upsets me. How do we not focus on race?
All right, Republicans in Alabama are trying to expedite a new redistricting map in time for the 2026 midterms. The state filing an emergency petition with the U.S. Supreme Court just days ago to allow it to set up special primaries using the new map. Alabama's action comes as Democrats in Virginia had their new voter-approved congressional map blocked by the state Supreme Court. The body of a Black American soldier who vanished in Morocco for an annual training exercise has been recovered. The U.S. Army says First Lieutenant Lamont Key Jr. was one of 2 service members who disappeared about a week ago in waters off of Morocco's southern coast. Army officials said search operations for the second serviceman will continue. Over 1,000 U.S. and Moroccan military and civil personnel have joined in search efforts, according to the Army. Both service members were participating in African Lion, an annual training exercise, although defense officials told CBS News that the incident was not believed to be related to the event. A preliminary report said the soldiers were part of a group of service members who were hiking to watch the sunset when a soldier known to be unable to swim fell into the water. Defense officials said the second soldier jumped in to attempt a rescue, but was struck by a wave. President Trump rejecting Iran's response to a U.S. proposal to end the war. He told reporters last week that Iran would face a lot of pain unless a deal is signed.
They want to sign it. I will tell you. They want to sign it a lot more than I do.
In a post on Truth Social, Trump said he had read the response from Iran's so-called representatives, calling it totally unacceptable. Trump said in an earlier social media post that Iran has been playing games with the U.S. and the rest of the world for nearly 5 decades. New research suggests fewer than 10,000 steps a day can still help control your weight. Research presented at the European Congress on Obesity found that 8,500 steps a day will help maintain weight loss after dieting. The 10,000 steps a day standard became popular during the 1960s. Experts say while walking is important to avoid gaining weight, so is a calorie deficit and combining cardio with strength training to build muscle and burn calories. As of 2024, over 49% of Black non-Hispanic adults in the U.S. were classified as obese. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Healthy relationships can improve emotional and physical well-being. Community connection and support are part of Wellness 2.
Your health, our community, for WVON.
With your help, the Illinois Lottery generated $784 million for education last year. Play all your favorite Illinois Lottery games today to help raise even more. Be smart, play smart. Must be 18 or older to play. Game odds are available at IllinoisLottery.com.
This is Rufus Williams, and I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore the charm, the beauty, and the history of Charleston, South Carolina. This isn't your typical getaway. We're walking through history and standing where our stories began. From the roots of Gullah Geechee culture to the International African American Museum, from cobblestone streets to waterfront views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural vibe. To find out more, visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. And keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into understanding, one destination at a time. We are WVON.
Attention shoppers, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is hanging up their hats, and you're invited to the retirement sale of a lifetime. Now through May 30th, everything in the store is on massive discount. That's every hat, every cap, and every accessory. It's our biggest sale ever, with prices you have to see to believe. Visit Sid's today at 609 West Roosevelt Road. While hats last and stock is moving fast, you'll find styles you love at prices you'll adore. Hurry in, retirement sale ends May 30th. Sid's Clothing and Hats, where style meets savings. One last time.
I was having a medical procedure, and I wanted to ensure my kids would get my home should something happen to me. I called attorney Ted London. He provided a land, trust, and power of attorney. Now my kids will not have to go through the probate process.
After the death of my husband, I had to get my affairs in order. I called attorney Ted London. Now my family and home will not have to go through the probate process.
773-721-3333.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Wish you could save on home insurance? With Allstate, you could easily save and get quality protection. Yep, it's a win-win. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No change in your travel time. Still pretty light along the Ryan, the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive each way. As you make your way along the Stevenson, still that 30-minute trip from I-355 to DuSable Drive outbound just fine. The Eisenhower 40 in from Thorndale to the Burns Circle outbound. You'll move along at the posted speed on the inbound side of the Kennedy. Right now, we're getting a report of an accident at Kimball, not affecting your travel time. Traffic pretty light. 30 minutes from O'Hare to downtown, getting to the airport, a 25-minute trip. Taking a look at our weather, turning sunny and pleasant today. On the milder side of things, as temperatures top out at around 55. Right now, we're still hovering at 51 at Midway, as 51 in West Englewood, and 51 here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
The Chicago Blues Festival is more than a festival. It's a celebration of culture, rhythm, and legacy. We'll see you in Millennium Park June 4th through the 7th. We're WVON.
I'll play the blues.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
You are a liar. Did they promise the Native Americans? Did they write it in treaties? Did they fulfill it? Did they promise us 40 acres and a mule? Did they fulfill it? Brown versus the Board of Education. 50 years later, where's the promise? Is it fulfilled, or are we still in segregated schools? The right to vote, you got it? But the minute they gave it to you, they were finding ways to take it back from you. Can't you open your eyes and see the house is burned? We are dying every day, and we're in a hell of a condition because we've made a covenant with a government that is death itself, with a people that have lied to us, deceived us, and murdered us, and rubs us good on one side and kicks us in the behind on the other. You are a deceived people. If you don't have the testicular fortitude to say what needs to be said, then sit down and stop trying to say you speak for our people and the hurt of the poor. Now I close. Excuse me. I think I'm getting excited. I applaud this covenant, but it demonstrates our impotence, because in many of the chapters it keeps going back to not only what we do, but really we start looking to the same liar that has continued to promise but never fulfill. And that's why God said, if my people, which are called by my name, will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven, forgive your sins and heal your land. So don't look to them, look to God, look to yourself. Break your covenant.
And we are back. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. Of course, it's 10:13, not quite Delta time, but yet and still. And we are giving praises because he the birthday. That's right. Today is a special day. It is the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's 93rd birthday. And did he speak truth? Has he held a record of truth through the decades that is measurable? I say absolutely. Absolutely. What he's pointing to, that testicular fortitude, is something. It's something. Because yet and still we continue to turn to people that he said, rub you good on one side, but kick you in the behind on the other side. Have they delivered? And if you can find a moment when they did, when it got too good, did they try to take it back? That's a message for Tennessee. But I don't have to scoot to Tennessee. I can look right here at home. I was just telling Sonia, well, we're looking at Governor B.L. Lee. I'm going to look at my governor. My governor, if this is the case, and I'm going to work on this tomorrow, Governor J.B. Pritzker is now standing and saying, it's horrible what happened to that student at Loyola. She was gunned down. She was from New York. Horrible. And I could say to Governor J.B. Pritzker, every week you ought to do that throughout the state of Illinois, but particularly right here in the Chicagoland area. Wednesday, I plan to cover the murder of yet another young Black man cut down before his life could even begin traction, let alone begin. Every week, now I want that from you. I want that from you. But beyond what you say, I want to see what you do. Since you could say this for this Loyola baby, you got to say it for all of them. And there's an elongated list from your state, sir. So although this message can dial back to Tennessee, but it can go across the entire country we call America. Where has America delivered on its promise? In real time, we've watched liars take national platforms and tell us what they think you want to hear while taking food out the mouths of babes, starving and pillaging at the same damn time. And then some argue that's been going on the whole time. And I would agree. But the brazenness at this point is on the level of Mississippi, goddamn. That's how I feel. Look at it. Look at these 13 colonies. You don't want to call them states. Just call them what they are. You rather raise the dead of Confederate soldiers that died losers and the resentment of us that are free. That's what you're holding on to. I'm going to the phone lines, 773-591-1690. Let's talk to Keith. Keith, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Mrs. Draper. Thank you and your team for the forum and the ability to speak in it. I honor Reverend Farrakhan. Happy birthday to him, Minister Farrakhan. From a distance, I'm not Muslim, but I've served alongside his flock. Okay, so I have a question about this redrawing of maps thing. Can I ask that question?
Please.
Okay. That's my word document there. Okay. If urban is urban because of population density, some of my people are in Nashville. When I travel through Tennessee, getting there, I see a lot of empty land until I hit Nashville, where my people are at, where some of my people are at. So I know your response might be they divided up Memphis in pizza slices that are so small. Each slice doesn't have a population density to outweigh the rural people out there in the country. But my ward has at least 100,000 people, right? So even if it was split up and we all voted, wouldn't we still have power?
No, and that's the lesson.
No.
So let me know. You don't have the number. So again, remember I said I was going to put on my statistician hat. Let's just talk data for 1 second. Deliberately the fix is in. So you've heard that term before. So if every Black person that was eligible to vote were to vote, you do not have the numbers. The calculus is not there. And that was done deliberate. That's the willful intent you heard me speak to. So the answer is no.
Yeah. But again, going back to my argument, if a ward isn't as large as the city and it still has 100,000 people going to the country, you might have 50,000 people out there in the map.
No. So again, in Tennessee, it's no if. So let's not speak hypothetical. Let's just speak matter of factly. This is by design. And the design is against the Black representation. And to filibuster that, they split it up a third. Ergo, there's not enough Black people, Black Americans to cast a vote that will sure up representation that looks like them. So despite what exists, the rural whites, conservative whites, whatever you want to say, there are more of them than there are of Black people. So that majority minority, Black people are now in a very dense minority status that makes it impossible. So the answer is absolutely no. And by data and statistical facts, there's no way to conquer that with this new map drawn.
So one more question. So Memphis, I've never been to Memphis. Sorry. Doesn't compare to Chicago. You're saying Memphis
Chicago
is
right. Chicago is 3. Houston is 4. Memphis is down the line. I would have to get the ranking, but no, it's much smaller. And it's majority minority. So even with splitting that, so this is not about if Black folks were to show up and if they voted. No, they've made it impossible, not even virtually impossible. They've made it absolutely impossible. Okay, so this is how deliberately evil and cruel this intent to strike away representation is. This is that desperate grab for white power and white rule in America in 2026. So I just want to speak in absolutes. Good call. You know, there are times where if there is a gray area, I will indulge you. I will dance with you all. But when it's an absolute no, then it is a flat out no. And I want us to really let it sink in so you can go and be a good steward and throw up the WB sign and warn brothers and sisters, because this is a no barred holding opportunity where they are absolutely not playing. They will continue to move the goalposts because they are in turn running for their freedom. They're petrified of any type of Black rule and Black leadership, even the one. And that's why I pointed to State Representative Wilson. Even that one that they tried to sanction, you all remember that one makes them uncomfortable. And it's not even enough to have a overwhelming vote. He's still the minority. And that's not enough. They don't want to make room. So I want us to focus on Tennessee, because the juxtaposing of what happened in Virginia, we're going to cover in the next segment. We'll be back.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
Hey, Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
This is Kamini Khan, certified financial planner professional. For the past year, I've been on a mission to change lives and build wealth in our community. Together, we're changing the paradigm. This year, I'm back with a new series, Wealth Strategies, Money Talks. Join me every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. on the Rufus Williams Show as we have thoughtful discussions around building wealth in our community. We'll discuss topics like investing, savings, tax strategies, retirement, and all things money. Yes, that's Tuesday at 8:30 a.m., so set those alarms. Also, be sure to check out the podcast at WVONwealthshow.com.
Komini Khan is a certified financial planner professional with Optimal Planning Partners in alliance with Equitable Advisors, LLC member SIPC in Oak Brook, Illinois. For more information, please call 630-575-5046.
WVON traffic and weather now.
No changes in your travel times, but do know that in Dalton, 154th Street in both directions between Dante Avenue and Stony Island Avenue will be shut down. Work on the bridge over the Bishop Ford Freeway is scheduled to close that area starting today. So as I said, 154th is shut down in both directions. Right there in that area. Do read your detour signs. There is a traffic detour via Sibley Boulevard. Taking a look at our weather on the sunniest side of things today. Temperature expected to top out in the mid-50s. 55 is our high, 41 our low. We're up to 52 at O'Hare, is 52 in Inglewood, and 52 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm in Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Notice this. When Jewish people remember the Holocaust and want the world to remember the Holocaust. Wait. Why do you want the world to remember? Because if the world does not remember, it is likely to repeat itself. And Jewish persons who suffered from the Holocaust want the world to remember this because the world turned its back while Jews were put in ovens. I, as a black person, want my people to remember what we have suffered and what we continue to suffer so that we will say like the Jews, never again.
And we are back. The time is 10:25. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. And today, he the birthday. That's right. I am paying homage and giving nothing but praise in the celebration of life to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's 93 years young today. And like the minister, you know, I take the message of the disgraced congressman from New York and I just be real Jew-ish. Remember when he lied and said he grew up Jewish and he'd been Jewish and then they found out he wasn't. And he said, no, I didn't mean to say I was a Jew. He said I was Jew-ish, I-S-H. Need not ever forget. Because how did we get here? There is a generation, and I can point them out, the arrived generation. The arrived generation, you all wig me out. You know who you all are. You wig me out because you were a part of desegregation, right? And in that moment, you probably never knew not of. And because I had this interesting balance in my house, my father lived in segregation and grew up as a young man through desegregation. He need not ever forget and made sure I had a clear understanding. So when I met this other iteration of folk that's all they've ever known, you all are interesting. Some of you all are conscious and some of you all liken to be something that categorically is not real. It's not real. And I believe in 2026, if you are still of the belief it's real, then you're in a pseudo reality where you feel most comfortable. That's your safe space. That is your safe space. Like in the other clip when I played of the minister, when he was on the Donahue show, and he told that Caucasian young lady, you're not in a position of power. He said, your effort is good, but it's not real. Let's talk to Brother Randy. Brother Randy, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Yes, good morning. How are you?
I'm in blessed spirits. I'm celebrating the
wonderful.
minister.
Wonderful. How was your Mother's Day?
It was positive. I positively got a few hours of rest. We went to church, but and I spent some time with my babies. But
We're good. Yeah,
I got some rest.
I was with my baby, my big baby, my daughter, and my grandchildren. My two grandchildren, Zoe and Sarai, twins. Yeah, we went. We at dinner at Norman Bistro on 43rd near Berkeley.
Well, amen.
Yeah, it was very nice. But I want to respond to your questions, and I'm just concerned. You're right. This is deliberate by design. They're trying to get, and they're doing it. They're trying to make sure that we're never enfranchised. And this is what James Jennings talks about in his book, The Politics of Black Empowerment by James Jennings of the Monroe Trotter Institute. He talks about how the Black people in Black Boston countered with a memorandum, and it was a referendum. A referendum called the Mandela referendum, and it was basically trying to create separate cities, separate towns for Black people in one area, and a separate town for white folks and others in another part of Massachusetts. And white politicians and business people got put pressure on Black communities and Black religious leaders to not to support it. This is more than 30 years ago. Okay, and I think what we're going to have to do is, Farrakhan, and much respect to Farrakhan, happy birthday to him, okay, on his 93rd birthday. He's very fortunate. I hope that he start writing his memoirs, right, about his life, his experience, and his relationship with Malcolm X, with Elijah Muhammad, and the Nation of Islam, and him being a former Calypso singer. You remember he was Calypso Jean, the charmer, And you get the book, The Judas Factor, about Carl Evans. It has some very enlightening information in it, too, as well as the book on Conspiracy by Zach Kondo, right, dealing with the assassination of Malcolm X. But to also mention the stuff about the number of Black folks who lost their right to vote. This is part of the Project 2025, the Mandate for Leadership, the Heritage Foundation plan, as well as Project for a New American Century, another right-wing group or organization just as crazy as the MAGAs and stuff. So I think that we had to get organized. One, we had to get organized, reach a consensus of what our interests are, local, domestic, and international, and then we move from there. We need to form a think and act tank. We need to develop a Black, African-centered think and act tank, not just a think tank. We need a think tank that takes action. Unlike the Joint Center for Political Economic Studies.
I'm sorry. But listen, we got to leave it there. When we come back, guys, I'm going to continue to take your calls and more. And we're going to continue to pay homage to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan when we return.
Sunny but cooler, temperatures topping out in the mid-50s. Good morning, I'm Annette Flournoy, and here's what's happening. A Chicago federal judge is expected to rule today on whether a special prosecutor is needed to investigate alleged crime in connection with Operation Midway Bliss. Attorneys and advocacy groups say ICE and Border Patrol agents violated state law. They also argue that the agents have not been properly investigated by the Cook County State's Attorney's Office. State's Attorney Eileen O'Neill Burke says the complaints in the case have no merit. Meanwhile, Governor Pritzker disagrees and is calling for a special prosecutor to take over. This morning, we hear from a heartbroken mother of a Chicago high school student with a full-ride basketball college scholarship offer. But he was killed in an Uber last week. Perry Williams has more.
Hermine Hartman of Indigo magazine and
it's kind of... Obviously, that was not the piece. We'll provide more on that story later. Meanwhile, a $10,000 reward is being offered in the case. Well, along with passing the plate on Mother's Day yesterday, a Bronzeville pastor also passed out gas cards. Pastor Demetrius Davis, lead pastor at City Point Community Church, says he was inspired to offer $25 gift cards to members because he himself was feeling pain at the pump.
This is going to be $25 to whatever gas station, Amoco or BP. And again, thank you for coming and being here with us on a beautiful Sunday.
Meanwhile, even non-church members were able to drive up and ask for a gas card if needed. Pastor Davis says they plan on doing even more.
We're hoping to do some outreach to some of the gas stations like Shell and BP and Mobil, who make good money from our community, and our people have been loyal to them. Here's an opportunity to help us give back to them.
Yesterday, as many as 60 people received cards. Well, that's a look at our news now on 1690 WVON. Traffic and weather up next. WVON News Time, 1034.
The OPC is more than a presidential center. It's where history meets hope. In June, witness history being made. We're WVON.
Hey, Chicago, it's Matt McGill. We had so much fun last year. We're heading back to the Chicago Blues Festival as their official radio partner June 5th through the 7th in Millennium Park. But guess what? On Thursday, June 4th, we're going to kick things off. That's me and my buddy Sir Henry Cheatham. We're going to the iconic Ramova Theater, 3618 South Austin, and we're bringing on stage one of Chicago's favorites, the one, the only, Willie Clayton.
Sleeping in my bed one time.
And Chicago's own, the legendary John Primer.
Well, I'm rolling and tumbling, talking all out of my head.
You want to join us? Then reserve your free seats now at RamovaChicago.com. That's RamovaChicago.com. Then keep it right here to WVON for your chance to win VIP tickets to the Ramova and to hear more about this year's lineup. I'll see you there Thursday, June 4th at the Ramova Theater to kick off the 2026 Chicago Blues Festival, brought to you by Mayor Brandon Johnson and DCASE, the Department of Cultural Affairs and Special Events.
This report is brought to you by Blindster.com. Buying custom blinds shouldn't be complicated or stressful. That's why Blindster.com makes it simple and affordable. You measure, you install, and you save big on custom blinds. Ordering takes minutes, installation is easy, and they guarantee they'll fit. Blindster.com.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Live radio and sometimes difficulties. But turning to our traffic right now, we're looking at things looking pretty good along the Ryan, the Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, and DuSable Lakeshore Drive, all moving along at the posted speed each way. As you make your way along the Stevenson in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, you're looking at a 30-minute trip outbound just fine. Things have quieted down quite a bit along the Eisenhower. That trip in from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, just about 35 minutes, 30 traveling out. And the Kennedy, not bad at all. A 30-minute trip in from O'Hare to downtown, still looking at about 25 minutes to the airport. Taking a look at our weather, bright skies. We're seeing lots of sunshine, but on the cooler side of things, temperatures are expected to top out in the mid-50s. 55 is our official high. Our low tonight is 41. We're up to 52 at Midway. It's 52 in Dalton and 52 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flurnoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Why should we live like this? When our fathers worked for 300 years to give America the wealth that she has. That's right. When we built the country, listen to me good now, and then fought, bled, and died to keep it, and still don't have anything. That's right. They took tax
Coinciding with money.
yes, sir. Money that belongs to us, and they rebuilt Germany. That's right. They took money that belongs to us. They rebuilt Japan. Now Japan is #1 in the world, but we still in the ghetto. Nobody gives a damn about us. This gotta stop. Why should we?
Listen, guys, we are back. The time is 10:38. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show, and today's show is dedicated to the man. That's right. the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He the birthday. Today is his 93rd birthday. And I'm asking you, which message of the messenger reigns supreme? I have a montage, a collection of just moment after moment through the decades. I enjoy the most, and I can't wait to talk about this with our special guest, is young minister. Woo, young minister. He was just something. But what I realized about him, he's just a charismatic man, right? But he mean what he say, and he say what he mean. He don't mince his words. And I've seen him speak in person. I've seen him throughout my entire life. And yet and still, he never ceases to fail. But you want to talk about a cancel culture. We let white America attempt to cancel him from our ears. But you can't, because he's bigger than what they ever thought in terms of his leadership. And I'm asking you, when you give me a call, 773-591-1690, give me a pointed message of yours that's resounding. Django said the number 11. Django can pinpoint moments. Anthony, moments. Keith, moments. Brandy, moments. The list goes on and on. I listen to every word you all say when you call. Now, I got a message for you all. Folks, after 65 years, Sid's Clothing and Hats is closing its doors. Take advantage of a store-wide savings spree now through May 30th. Visit 609 West Roosevelt Road or give them a call, 312-421-3332. Today, while supplies last. Think about that. I just came up with another message I'm going to play when we return. I got the messenger on speed dial in my head in terms of, that's right, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and this tribute show to him today. But let's talk to Miss Eunice. Miss Eunice, welcome to WVON.
Well, good morning, Cleopatra. How are you?
I'm in blessed spirits. How are you?
I am also. And I want to say happy birthday to Minister Farrakhan. I'll be 93, 29th of June.
Oh, amen.
And, yes. And I remember when Minister Farrakhan was not accepted in some churches, they say he was too controversial. And I want to thank Reverend Al Sampson of Fernwood Church. He was a minister there then. He gave Minister Farrakhan the keys to his church, and he said he was welcome at any time. I was there to witness it. And I was a member of Life Center Church where Pastor Tia Barrett was the pastor. He also befriended Minister Farrakhan. And after I used to lead service at the Life Center, I used to go by the mosque on 79th Street because that's when they broadcast in the afternoon. And there was some Jewish group that was threatening Minister Farrakhan one Sunday. So he was making a speech on greatness. And he said Hitler was great, but wickedly great and not for him. And they took it out of context. So the minister said to them, you better be ready when you come because we don't carry as much as a penknife. Do you know that they didn't show? But they always putting out threats. So I like it because he says what he means and he doesn't sugarcoat it. And thank you for taking my call.
Absolutely, Miss Eunice. You know, I love and appreciate that about the minister. And he's always been a brilliant architect in terms of guidance for those that are listening with your ears, particularly for those that may or may not be on the foot of direction. I appreciate his kinetic energy to where we are with the times. I love going through the archive of the minister because the evolution throughout his journey of manhood and the uplifting of the nation, it shows and reflects, but yet the message is still a through line. That is what I believe in. When I dissect what he has to say, I want to hear from you. 773-591-1690. Now, Fred Johnson said, don't forget Reverend Johnny Coleman stood by Farrakhan side. They even had Savior's Day there. Ooh, okay, that's a good one. I think I can recall that because my aunt never misses a Savior's Day. Let's go back to the phone lines. Let's talk to Andre. Andre, welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Queen. You know, I thank God for allowing me to live in this day and time when the minister and the chief is present, and to be able to be under his teaching and listening to him and his words During a labor meeting in the 90s, the minister told us he was describing the difference from a believer versus a hypocrite. And I still live by that model, and I still tell people that. And he said, how do you know the difference from a believer versus a hypocrite? He said, when you're in the presence of a hypocrite, they suck the life out of you. You leave down, hopeless, discouraged, lost. And when you're in the presence of a believer, you live motivated, uplifted, inspired, knowing that you can accomplish anything. And that's the difference that he taught us in the laborers meeting, the difference between a hypocrite and a believer, because he didn't want us to be a hypocrite. So I thank him. I thank God for allowing me to be in his presence, to have and study him and to know the day and time that we live in. And the last thing, the minister challenged the world in proving what he said was not found to be truth, that he offered up his life, he offered up money, and no one has ever came forth to prove him and the words and the guidance that he was teaching to us to be unfound.
Good call, Andre. Good call. Listen, Chrissy Trotter says the minister always speaking truth in context to our time and reality. The problem is we fail to follow truth to change our behavior within ourselves, which ultimately will change our community reality. God will not change the condition until we change the condition of ourselves on truth. I accept that, Chrissy. I really do. Because a big part of it is the reflection. Michael Jackson, I'm talking to the man in the mirror, right? There's another clip that I'm going to uplift where the minister is questioning, what do you do for others? Not yourself, but for others to change the outcomes. What have you done? And I think that is grander in terms of legacy. Too often we are within our own vanity, living right now in the moment, and not futuristically for the generations that have yet to be born and those that are trying to survive around us now collectively. And that condition of the Negro in America is exclusive. Let's talk to Black Gold. Black Gold, welcome to WVON.
Hey, what's happening? I would like to say, God bless that brother. It's his birthday. God bless him. You know what? He cares. He cares more than some of these ministers at these churches and what they're saying. I got to give it to him. He cares, okay, in his speech. And I would like to say that this show is the greatest morning show, especially when you're doing right and being right, than any other morning television show or program that's on. This show is something else. But you know what? Staying true to self. See, that's a very important factor in life, when you stay true to self. You see, because, good flocks with good, bad flocks with bad. You see, this is what's happening now, what's going on. And this record about the OJs, a family reunion, and every time when I see a brother or sister or someone that believes in God, that's the first thing I think about. Family reunion, someone that cares and loves and respects and cares for their family. You know, Cleopatra? See? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, this is what I believe in, and far as that, I want the Muslim to know, you do not have to be a full-fledged Muslim to help your brothers and sisters out here and give them good advice. You see, this is what's happening. You need to motivate one another and stop being led on and pulled down. This morning show, this show right here, what's on now, and the McGill show, and most important of all, that Friday show. Far as that, I'm through with the rest of them. I'm through with this fake love stuff. See, I'm real. See, because when you're real, you belong with real and around real. But if you phony, you belong with phonies. You see, and I cannot let no one pull me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gifted. I'm blessed by God. You know, when I helped and cared for that Asian woman, and when no one didn't give a crap for her, you know, especially the Klan, but they're going to tell me to stay away from her, there's something wrong with them, stay, you know, this and that. You know, hey, I didn't listen to them because that could have been anybody's mom. And I would like to say Happy Mother's Day, 365 days in a year. May the Lord bless and treasure you all, my dear. I want you to know this. This coming from me. You know, as far as being phony, I do not hang around. No one is phony. See, I'm real.
I appreciate it, Black Gold. I appreciate your realness. I appreciate your love and uplift for the show. I thank God for the journey. I definitely seen another tribute. Somebody is listening all the way from, I read it too. Where are you listening from? It'll come back. Oh, I got it. Fort Washington, Maryland. I thank you, Hamid, for lifting us up. When we come back, Leroy, Ruby, Brother Hall, give us a call, you guys. I'm going to take your calls and more. We're going to continue because he the birthday. That's right. They call him the Black Messiah. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is a tribute to his 93rd birthday on the Cleopatra Show.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Hi, I'm Lori Smith, host of Meeting the Moment. WVON, in partnership with the Chicago Community Trust, developed Meeting the Moment to amplify the voices of nonprofits across Chicagoland, giving them the communication tools they need to expand their reach and turn awareness into action. Right now, our communities are facing real challenges, from economic uncertainty to public safety to access and equity. But in the middle of it all, there are organizations doing the work quietly, faithfully, powerfully. With Meeting the Moment, we'll have honest conversations about the issues shaping our region and, more importantly, the solutions happening on the ground. And each week, we'll feature a Chicagoland nonprofit making a difference. You'll hear their story and find out how you can support their work. Because Meeting the Moment is about more than just awareness. It's about impact. Join the Meeting the Moment movement, a program designed for the doers. For more information, visit WVON.com/Meeting the Moment. Listen every Saturday at 12 noon, right here on WVON 1690, the Talk of Chicago. Let's meet the moment together. Powered by the Chicago Community Trust.
One phone call, that's all it takes to get started. If you or someone you know has a cannabis record holding you back, New Leaf, Illinois can help you clear it for free. Real help from a state-funded program built for you. A clean record means better jobs, better housing, and a better shot at the life you deserve. Make the call, 872-NEW-LEAF. Or visit newleafillinois.org today. New Leaf, Illinois. One call can really change everything.
Dreaming of owning a home? Fifth Third Bank is here to help get you there. Our down payment assistance programs open doors for families across Chicago. Whether you're buying your first home or planning for the future, we'll guide you every step of the way. Because at Fifth Third, we believe homeownership builds stronger communities. This is banking a Fifth Third better. Visit 53.com to learn more. That's 53.com. Fifth Third Bank, National Association. Member FDIC.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Hi, I'm Tavis Smiley, inviting you to join me weekdays from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. right here on WVON. I am bringing you a national perspective on all the happenings in the Black community and, of course, politics. It's talk radio for us, by us, and this is where America listens.
It's Tavis Smiley, weekdays from 6 to 9 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Things still look good along the Ryan, the Bishop Ford, and Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, moving along at the posted speed each way. As you make your way along DuSable Lakeshore Drive right now, 67th Street to Jackson, no problems, no delays in your travel times. However, we are seeing it pretty heavy right around the Stevenson ramp, then stop and go to Monroe. The trip from Hollywood to Monroe, no problems at all. Along the Stevenson, in from I-355 to DuSable Drive, about a 30-minute trip, 30 traveling out. The Eisenhower, now just about 32 minutes from Thorndale to the Burns Circle, outbound just fine. And things look pretty good along the Kennedy. You'll move along at the posted speed, inbound and out. Taking a look at our weather on the bright side of things, the National Weather Service says we're in store for a plenty of sunshine as temperatures climb near 55 today. We're up to 52 at O'Hare, 52 in Woodlawn, and 52 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Exactly what happened in Los Angeles a few weeks ago when a black man was brutally murdered and 6 others were shot down in cold blood. The reason that we called this rally was because of the great distortion by the press all the way across the country. We refuse to be divided anymore. We refuse. Whether we're from the college or whether we're from the corner, whether we're from the boulevard or whether we're from the alley, whether we speak like we just graduated from Harvard or whether we speak with a broken accent, as long as your face is black in America, we catch hell from one corner to another. Because other races are proud of themselves.
And we are back. The time is 10:55 and he's a birthday. That's right. We are paying tribute and homage to the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's 93rd birthday. And his message is resounding through the decades. The phone lines are yours, 773-591-1690. Who am I going to pick? Let's talk to Ruby. Ruby, talk to me. Welcome to WVON.
Good morning, Cleopatra. How are you this morning?
I'm in blessed spirits, Miss Ruby. How are you?
All right. I'm calling to wish Minister Farrakhan a happy birth anniversary. And that I remember he did a lecture about the value of women. It was so profound. And then I learned so much that had been hidden from us as black women. If we could some type of way go back and listen to that, or go back and to the mosque and sit there and let them listen, explain it to you, will be in such a much better position in mind. You know, because he lifted up women, because he said, where there are no decent women, no decent men, there are no decent women neither. So we as a people, not the constitutional kind, but we as a people, we can get back to the profound way in which God wants us to be, and that's what Minister Farrakhan is all about.
Excellent
Thank
call.
you, Cleopatra, and I love you, girl.
I appreciate it. I appreciate the love and the uplift. Let's talk to Brother Hall. Brother Hall, talk to me. Welcome to WVON. Brother Hall? Uh-oh. Well, let's talk to Leroy. Leroy, talk to me. Welcome to WVON. Leroy, are you there? Oh, no. Well, Mr. James, it's your time. Welcome to WVON.
Thank you there. Well, thank you there, my beautiful young queen. I admire your knowledge and your courage. And, hey, I wish you had sometime I wish you had got the Alderman job. Then again, I don't wish you had got it, because you're so great for the community here on this talk show.
Thank you for
that. I want to ask you, why do you think the great white father didn't assassinate Minister Farrakhan, Andy Young, Jesse Jackson, Abernathy, and a lot of them other Negro politicians. How do the great white father decide who is going to leave here and why?
I don't know.
How do
Mr.
we
James,
decide that?
Enlighten me. What do you think?
Because they're not a threat to the empire. Farrakhan is not a threat to this empire. Malcolm X was a threat. And I'm not saying the great white father killed him. Jesse Jackson was not a threat to this empire. If you are a threat to this empire, you going to jail, or you going to hell, or you got to leave this country. You got three choices. That's it. If he lets you live to be 90, baby, you better believe you are not a threat to the great white father. That's a fact.
Excellent call, Mr. James. Well received. Listen, heading to Lincoln Park Mayfest this weekend. Hop on board Metra. Get to where you're going quickly, comfortably, and safely. Plus, with the weekend passes available and fares for every kind of rider, Metra gets you to the fun without breaking the bank. Purchasing tickets is easy with the Venture app, and Metra's 95% on-time rate means you can skip the traffic and get to where you're going fast. So save the stress. So this weekend, stop sitting in never-ending gridlock and paying for expensive parking. Take Metra so you can do more and drive less. Listen, guys, when we come back, I am so excited for this guest. And I am hoping you are too. That's right. Minister Ishmael Muhammad is going to come out and bless us on the microphone on the Cleopatra Show as we pay homage and recognize the celebration of life of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. And I couldn't imagine anybody else besides the minister himself. But this minister, he has to do it because at the end of the day, he's been to and through alongside the minister at the ready. And who can tell a story better than he can? I don't know. That's why I have him. You don't want to miss this.
Sunny skies with temps expected to remain in the 50s on this Monday, May 11th, 2026. I'm Annette Flournoy. In the headlines today, Nation of Islam leader, the Honorable Louis Farrakhan celebrates his 93rd birthday. Top city officials want the Democratic National Convention back. They put in a bid this morning to host the 2028 DNC at the United Center. And a local federal judge is expected to rule today on whether a special prosecutor is needed to investigate accused crime connected to Operation Midway Blitz. The Black Information Network is next on Chicago's original social media platform, 1690 AM WVON, Berwyn, Chicago. It's 11:01.
Here's BIN News Now. President Trump is downplaying concerns over hantavirus, saying experts are closely monitoring the situation.
We seem to have things under very good control. They know that virus very well. It's been around a long time.
Meanwhile, the CDC is escorting American passengers off a cruise ship in the Canary Islands and flying them home, where they're expected to be quarantined as a precaution. Little Rock, Arkansas Mayor Frank Scott Jr. is running for re-election. Scott announced his bid online, highlighting drops in crime, job growth, and stronger neighborhoods. The Democrat became the city's first popularly elected Black mayor in 2019 and won a second term in 2022. And Rolling Loud lit up Orlando over the weekend with major performances and a surprise cameo. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian's 12-year-old daughter, Northwest, made an unexpected appearance, joining artist Molly Santana on stage Saturday night. Get BIN News Now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Here's Terry McCready.
Alabama is one of a handful of GOP-controlled states attempting to redraw maps after the Supreme Court struck down Louisiana's map, calling it an unconstitutional gerrymander that relied too much on race. Louisiana State Senator Gary Carter.
Now we want to reduce that. My public comment is anger. This upsets me. How do we not focus on race?
All right, Republicans in Alabama are trying to expedite a new redistricting map in time for the 2026 midterms. The state filing an emergency petition with the U.S. Supreme Court just days ago to allow it to set up special primaries using the new map. Alabama's action comes as Democrats in Virginia had their new voter-approved congressional map blocked by the state Supreme Court. The body of a Black American soldier who vanished in Morocco for an annual training exercise has been recovered. The U.S. Army says First Lieutenant Lamont Key Jr. was one of 2 service members who disappeared about a week ago in waters off of Morocco's southern coast. Army officials said search operations for the second serviceman will continue. Over 1,000 U.S. and Moroccan military and civil personnel have joined in search efforts, according to the Army. Both service members were participating in African Lion, an annual training exercise, although defense officials told CBS News that the incident was not believed to be related to the event. A preliminary report said the soldiers were part of a group of service members who were hiking to watch the sunset when a soldier known to be unable to swim fell into the water. Defense officials said the second soldier jumped in to attempt a rescue, but was struck by a wave. President Trump rejecting Iran's response to a U.S. proposal to end the war. He told reporters last week that Iran would face a lot of pain unless a deal is signed.
They want to sign it. I will tell you. They want to sign it a lot more than I do.
In a post on Truth Social, Trump said he had read the response from Iran's so-called representatives, calling it totally unacceptable. Trump said in an earlier social media post that Iran has been playing games with the U.S. and the rest of the world for nearly 5 decades. New research suggests fewer than 10,000 steps a day can still help control your weight. Research presented at the European Congress on Obesity found that 8,500 steps a day will help maintain weight loss after dieting. The 10,000 steps a day standard became popular during the 1960s. Experts say while walking is important to avoid gaining weight, so is a calorie deficit and combining cardio with strength training to build muscle and burn calories. As of 2024, over 49% of Black non-Hispanic adults in the U.S. were classified as obese. Stay informed, stay connected, and subscribe. Follow VIN News this hour wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Terry McCready for the Black Information Network.
Don't wait until something feels wrong to see a doctor. Annual checkups catch problems early before they become serious.
Your health, our community, for WVON.
This report is brought to you by Wendy's new Biggie Deals. Choose one of Wendy's new Biggie Deals at $4, $6, and $8. Pick one new Biggie Deals you're craving. For a pretty Biggie deal, gotta be Wendy's. U.S. price and participation may vary.
It's D.L. Hughley.
Tucker Carlson took it to the extreme and apologized to the electorate. I think Tucker knows that an 80-year-old demented man who's in his pants might not be the future anymore. I don't know that it is regret, but I think that he's done something I haven't seen very many people do, which is to take the onus on themselves and say they apologize and to see what they could do to make it right.
Weekdays at 5 a.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Illinois politicians did it again. They secretly tucked bad policy into the budget. Now, guess who pays the price? Servers, drivers, stylists, workers who depend on tips. Unless Springfield fixes this mistake, your credit and debit cards may not work to pay sales tax or tips starting July 1st. Tell Springfield, stop the credit card chaos law. Learn more at guardyourcard.com/Illinois. Paid for by the Electronic Payments Coalition.
Ready to fire up your taste buds, Chicago? Black-owned Kodo Hibachi serves fresh, authentic hibachi and sushi, served with a smile. Grab takeout, order delivery, or dine in casual style. No flaming show, just flavor that steals the spotlight. And hey, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Visit them at 258 West 31st Street. Open Tuesday through Thursday, 11 to 8, Friday and Saturday till 9. Sundays till 7. And don't forget, tell them WVON is your favorite radio station and get 10% off your order. Kodo Hibachi, where flavor meets culture.
Pull up to the flagship location at 258 West 31st Street and stay tuned. The Kodo family is growing. New location coming soon.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray.
Congressman Jonathan Jackson on the line.
I saw a meme that said America will come and get you. When it's about the oil, they bombed in Iran, they've got oil. They bombed in Iraq, they've got oil. They bombed in Libya, they've got oil. And now they bombed in Venezuela, they've got oil. And they even came after Diddy because he had oil.
Come on, Congressman.
What a great setup.
That was good. That was good.
It's the afternoon show with Atiba Buchanan and LaDonna Ray. Weekdays at 3 p.m. on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
This report is brought to you by Mattress Firm. Ready to upgrade to the perfect sleep setup? Let Mattress Firm's sleep experts guide you to the perfect bed at the Memorial Day sale. Top brands, ideal comfort, score unbelievable deals on both. Mattress Firm, they make sleep easy.
Get ready for the return of the largest blues festival in the world. The Chicago Blues Festival is heading to Millennium Park, June 4th through the 7th, and WVON will be there. Will you?
Hey, the blues is all right. Hey, the blues is all right.
Live from the Xfinity Studios at WVON, it's the Cleopatra Show on Chicago's essential storyteller, 1690 WVON.
What makes you righteous? You see, I don't smoke, I don't drink. I won't fornicate, and I won't commit adultery. I don't smoke dope. And I say all my prayers every day. And I give whatever I can in charity. And what else do you do? Well, what do you mean, what else? Is there something else? That's nothing. That's vanity. So you don't smoke, so what? So you don't drink. You don't use drugs. So what? What are you doing to better the condition of others? What are you doing to reform where you live? And if you do nothing to reform society with the knowledge you have received, then you are guilty of concealing knowledge. And that is a cardinal sin.
And we are back. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show. The time is 11:10. And listen, guys, he's the birthday. That's right. We're paying homage, and I'm enjoying the celebration of life for the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as he celebrates being 93 years young, 93 trips around the sun. And who's here to discuss his life and his leadership and so much more when it comes to the Nation of Islam is Minister Ishmael Muhammad. He joins us via phone. His wonderful photos up on the StreamYard. And I want to raise up a concept that I extrapolated from his bio, and I'm entitling it R-Cubed: Resurrection, Redemption, and Restoration. He says that my greatest desire is to help the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the mission of the resurrection, redemption, and restoration of Black people in America and throughout the world. I'd like to take a moment of privilege and welcome the minister. That's right, Ishmael Muhammad, to the Cleopatra Show.
Thank you. Peace and blessings to you and to our listening audience. Thank you so much for the great honor, sister, for having me on the phone on this very special day in Black history and a very special day in the history of the world.
No, and I thank you for sharing time with us. I am overly joyed, so I'm controlling my stimulus right now because throughout the life of my show, I'm persistently paying homage to the minister and his messages. And I've asked the listening audience, and they have resounded and responded to pointed messages in their life that the minister has poured in and guided them. And I would like to take the same moment for you to expound upon your leadership and your time serving with a minister, and your resume and your bio about your life is quite interesting. So I'm going to dive into it, but I will start where you would like to take us to your alpha.
Well, thank you, dear sister. Well, we have to start with God and thanking God so much for blessing and gifting us with such a wonderful human being, giving to us a divine leader, teacher, and guide. Minister Farrakhan has been on the front line of the liberation struggle for our people, for justice, for freedom, for equality for 71 years. And when he was a little boy, he always desired to help in the improvement of the condition of our suffering people and to lift our people up. So when he met the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he pledged his life to serve in the cause of God and to serve in the mission of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And he has done that. He has made his word bond. So we are so blessed by God with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and we cannot thank the minister enough for his dedication, his devotion, his sacrifice for these many, many decades, a gift that keeps on giving.
And I agree with you. I love to go through the archive of his messages. I share it with the listening audience. Half of my family is Muslim, half are part of the Christian faith. I've witnessed as a girl throughout my life the minister speak in person, but I've also listened to him throughout my life. And I think there is a pointed era that entices me, maybe because I'm still relatively young, but young Minister Farrakhan was a whippersnapper. And it's not to take away from the current one today, because he's still all the way, there's a through line that is just unbeknownst, that is profound. But young minister, was something. So take us to an era of the minister's life where, you were a part of organizing the march in Washington. You have been throughout your life for a time such as this, as I've learned more about you. But take us through a moment for you that resonates.
Oh, wow. Well, first, again, it's a blessing that I have been with the minister since, met him as a little boy when my father was here, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And then when he made the decision to rebuild the nation of Islam and reestablish the work and the program and the efficacy of what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us and gave us from God that would put us in a better position. And I thank my mother, whose birthday was yesterday, and may God be pleased with her. But she took me with her in 1977 after she heard that the minister was going to rebuild the nation of Islam. So that was a very key moment in my life as a young teenager. And I have been with him for nearly, the entire journey of his rebuilding effort, now going into 48 years from 1977. There's so many moments, dear sister, throughout his journey. The Million Man March, of course, was the highlight and the crowning event of his journey and his work, when he called for a 1 million man march, and those that heard it couldn't believe that one man would call for 1 million black men to present themselves, and nearly 2 million men presented themselves on the National Mall in Washington, D.C. on a Monday, the 16th of October, 1995, for atonement, reconciliation, and responsibility, and the beauty of the minister's heart to be so inclusive because of his deep and profound love for our people, regardless of our religion and whatever labels we put on ourselves. But he built a platform so that all from our community, from the Christian community and the different denominations, and all of our leaders would have a word to say to the men on that day in 1995. Truly a magnificent event, the first in our history and the first of its kind in the history of the world, where men gathered not for war, not to make a demand on government, but to make a demand on ourselves and to petition God for forgiveness and to accept the responsibility that is on our shoulders to make our communities a decent and safe place to live. So that event, dear sister, is probably the greatest event. So the minister has spoken throughout the country. I don't know another leader, teacher, preacher that has spoken colleges, universities, in the houses of worship, in the churches, in the mosques, in the temples, and traveled throughout the world, speaking to people in Asia, in Africa, in the Middle East, received by heads of state and governments throughout the world, and always taking our suffering as a people in America to solicit aid and support in helping our people to be lifted up, restored, reconciled, and resurrected.
Well,
So
I want to hold right there, Minister Muhammad. That is a beautiful sentiment. I'm up against a break. When we come back, listen, guys, I'll take your calls and more, but we are paying homage and we are celebrating the life of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan's 93rd birthday with Minister Ishmael Muhammad. You don't want to miss this.
More from Cleopatra coming up next on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
Tuned in to your favorite WVON personalities on Facebook Live? Don't just watch, like it, love it, share it. Every click helps us grow the conversation and keep the community strong. So remember, like it, love it, share it, Chicago.
Smart conversations with smart people makes us smarter. And that's exactly what you get on Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams. This isn't surface level talk. This is where authors become experts, where books become blueprints, and where ideas are challenged, not just discussed. From Colin Woodard on Nations Apart, to Gloria J. Brown Marshall breaking down the history of protests in America, to Gary Tyler sharing a story of resilience and redemption and stitching freedom. These are not interviews. These are conversations that matter, because every book has a story and every story has a deeper meaning. Bound and Woven with Rufus Williams on Bond TV. You can catch us on Roku, Amazon Fire, Apple TV+, the WVON app, and VON.TV.
This summer, we're taking our streets back with peace. The faith community of St. Sabina is calling on the entire city to stand together for the Summer Peace Takeover, Thursday, June 5th at 7 p.m. Join thousands of Chicagoans for a powerful rally and march for peace, featuring special guest, Chicago's own Chance the Rapper. Meet us at St. Sabina, 1210 West 78th Place, as communities from across the city come together with one message: enough is enough. Let's uplift our neighborhoods, empower our youth, and show the nation what unity in Chicago looks like. The first 1,000 people will receive free t-shirts, so bring your family, friends, church groups, and neighbors. This isn't just a march, it's a movement. The Summer Peace Takeover, Thursday, June 5th at St. Sabina. Peace starts with us. Chicago, be there.
This is Rufus Williams, and I've got something special for you. I am proud to announce that we're launching the Rufus Williams Travel Club in conjunction with Advantage International. Our first trip, we're staying in the United States and heading to one of the most stunning destinations for culture to cuisine. Join us October 8th through 12th as we explore the charm, the beauty, and the history of Charleston, South Carolina. This isn't your typical getaway. We're walking through history and standing where our stories began. From the roots of Gullah Geechee culture to the International African American Museum, from cobblestone streets to waterfront views. This is more than a trip. It's a cultural vibe. To find out more, visit WVON.com and click the Rufus Williams Travel Club banner. And keep listening for more details. The Rufus Williams Travel Club will turn curiosity into understanding, one destination at a time. We are WVON.
Lowe's knows hot deals help you get the most out of summer. Get up to 30% off select major appliances and get it delivered as soon as next day. Plus, get up to 30% off select patio furniture, grills, outdoor power equipment, and more. These end-of-season savings won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Valid on eligible in-stock orders in select locations. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Lots of places can expose you to identity theft, but that's why LifeLock monitors hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity, which is way more than anyone can do on their own. If they find anything suspicious, like new loans or changes in your financial accounts, they'll alert you right away, all through text, phone, email, or the LifeLock app. Get the alerts that can make all the difference. Save up to 40% off your first year with the promo code BECK. LifeLock.com, 800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or LifeLock.com. Use the promo code BECK at LifeLock.com.
Hey Alexa, play WVON 1690 AM.
Getting WVON 1690 AM station from iHeartRadio.
Try it out for yourself. America is listening to WVON.
WVON traffic and weather now.
Things look pretty good along the roadways. We're looking at base travel times pretty much across the board. This one is for you messengers out there as you make your way inbound along the Ryan from 95th Street into downtown. No problems, no delays. We're seeing some minor delays, though, from 31st Street to Roosevelt Road. Otherwise, things are just fine. The Bishop Ford, Tuskegee Airmen Memorial, DuSable Lakeshore Drive, things are quiet each way. As you make your way along the Stevenson, you'll move along at the posted speed from I-355 to DuSable Drive and back again, with some minor stop-and-go traffic from Ashland to Pulaski, traveling out. If you're on the Eisenhower, things look good each way. The Kennedy Inn from O'Hare to downtown, there are no problems there. Getting to the airport, you'll move along at the posted speed with some slow spots in your usual areas from Washington to North Avenue, then again from Lawrence to Sayre. Taking a look at your weather, bright skies, lots of sunshine. The National Weather Service says we're headed to a daytime high of around 55 and a low tonight of 41. It's 54 at Midway, 54 in Austin, and 54 degrees here at the Talk of Chicago. That's a look at traffic and weather now. I'm Annette Flournoy on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
And now back to the Cleopatra Show on the Talk of Chicago, 1690 WVON.
I told my wife the other day.
The double homicide.
I said, honey, I said, all these little things that we have, they're trinkets. I said, not one thing is worth the pain that I've suffered. You can't fill the void in a life filled with pain with a trinket. What I work for is to see the people that I love go on to their great destiny. My happiness is wrapped up in you. Receiving the word that the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches, then you get up with that word and go to work to make the word bond. I've done my job. If I deliver the message and you got it and you wide
We
awake,
are back. The time is 11:27. You're listening to the Cleopatra Show, and that message that messenger. Today's his 93rd birthday. He's the birthday. That's right. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. He's saying he's done his job. And on the live line with us is Minister Ishmael Muhammad. Minister, when you hear Minister Farrakhan, as you have heard through the decades, as you just attested to, 48 years of service, what message, as we look at how America has continued to fill up, what message do you have for Black America today?
Well, this first 48 years of 71 years of service, the 48 years is absent his teacher, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. So these last 48 years, America has been reminded and has been told through the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan from God that there is a day of reckoning coming to her. And like the ancient nations that we read of in the Bible that was given a messenger from God to warn them and to help those nations to change their course, so has it been with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan as a divine warner to America. But America, as we clearly can see, has fallen, as it is written in the Bible of Babylon, the great has fallen. She is not the nation that she was, and she will never be great again because she has failed to give justice to the people that she captured and took as slaves to build her nation to become the greatest nation on our planet, the wealthiest nation on our planet. But she has not done the simple thing to give us justice. And here we are, over 450 years later, still demanding justice. So America, she has not listened to the messenger of God in her midst. And so she is facing the fate of ancient Babylon, ancient Egypt, ancient Rome, because you fail to give justice to the poor, justice to the Black man and woman of America.
I thank you. I not only thank you for your time today, but I thank you for uplifting us and your commitment to the message. So I look forward to having you back, because there's so much more that you can pour into us, because you not only are at the ready of the minister, but you pour into our youth. And I thank God for that. I read your resume and I find you to be very intriguing. So I look forward to having you back soon.
I look forward to coming back to the show to talk about our young people, our future, and how we must make our communities a decent and safe place to live. Thank you so much for thinking so much about Minister Farrakhan, to honor him on your show and the wonderful clips that you played. What a beautiful voice. He has not failed in giving to us the uncompromising truth that would free us. So we are blessed, and thank you, dear sister. I look forward to coming on the show in the near future.
Well, I thank you for that. Listen, guys, for those that can hear me, continue to uplift, educate our sisters and brothers. Today is an honorable day. It's the 93rd birthday of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan, and I thank God for his journey, and may he continue to be blessed. I look forward to being with you all tomorrow. I forewarn us that tomorrow is a turbulent Tuesday as we continue to be Black and survive America. See you tomorrow at 9 a.m. If you're late, bring a tardy pass.
We're inching closer to the daytime high of 55. Good morning. I'm Ina Flournoy, and here's what's happening. Chicago leaders want the Democratic National Convention back. Mayor Brandon Johnson and Governor J.B. Pritzker laid out a pitch to DNC leadership to bring the convention back to the United Center in a video they launched this morning. The city is calling the 2024 DNC successful and will likely use it as a key talking point for their bid in the 2028. According to reports, the 2024 DNC generated as much as $371 million to the local economy. Meanwhile, this week, DNC leadership is expected to be in Chicago for a special visit to the Obama Presidential Center. Well, this